Hello, good morning. Welcome to Stampin' Chat. It is Tuesday the 4th of February 2025 for those of you that are catching up with the archives. Today I'm going to be creating two projects with you, and I'm going to be using a new bundle or two new bundles from our Mini Catalogue. There's lots I want to just run through with you quickly first though, because we've had a few things launched today. We've had some new kits, we've got some more scrapbooking products in stock. We have got, I've made a list, I need to look at my list, can't remember it all. We've got the Sale-a-Bration extra products. So what else have we got? Kits, clearance rack as well. We've had some new products go on there. I'm going to flick through some of those. I've fired up my iPad, so we'll have a quick look at those. And then for us demonstrators, we've got an exciting day because we get to pre-order some online exclusives that are coming next month in March. So I think without further ado, I will set you down to my desk. We'll have a quick flick at what's going on and then we will get crafting. So if you are joining me, please do say hello. Let's get you down on my desk. I'll wiggle everything around and get some light on the subject. We'll wait for that to catch up. So, how are we all? I forgot to check that I was live in the right place. So let's just take a seat a minute, excuse my hands. It appears I am, which is always good. We're a bit crooked. So today, actually what I'm going to do is straighten my grid paper and I'll adjust my camera, because otherwise I'm crafting on a wonk, which I do craft at an angle. I find that I craft at this angle quite a lot, which is a bit weird, but I obviously don't sit straight on my chair, and I think that's what it is. I sit at a bit of an angle. So right, hopefully I've turned that the right way, and then I can get this grid paper down and we'll know where we are. We are very high, aren't we? Let's go up a bit, which makes it awkward for me. I think we're going to leave it at that. Maybe I've just zoomed in a bit too much, because I know I probably drive you insane with my faffing. So if you're joining, say hello. Hi, Kerry, how are you doing? Lovely to have you here. So today I am going to be crafting with these two, and I'm following on from something that I did on my last live on the first, let's shimmy over a bit, on the first Tuesday. Hopefully that works. Oh, I need to go the other way. The brain need to go that way. Excuse me. So I'm going to be following on from something so that you can recycle my idea yet again to create something else. So we're going to put those to one side, and I'm just going to bring in, we're going to have a quick look at the new selection of products that Stampin' Up are giving us. Good morning, Jacqueline. I am good, thank you. I hope you are too. So we've got all of these, what have we got? 4, 8, 11 products here that are free gifts with purchase. So when you spend £55, you can choose one of these. My printer always likes to chop the top off of everything that I print. Me and technology are not great, and I can't fathom out why it keeps doing that. But yeah, it keeps chopping the top off. But we've got some lovely things, and I've grabbed a couple of things that I've got already. The Planted Paradise is one of them. This was from last year's mini, but this is, what do we call it? Reversibles stamps. Yes, Kerry, I think it has been a while. How are you doing? It's been a long time since we've chatted. So basically reversibles means that you use both sides of the stamp. So you've got the smooth side, and then you've got the actual side with the design on. And it means you can create like a background with that. If you look up the Planted Paradise, then you'll see some ideas done with it. I've hardly used it. I don't know why, because look, it's plants, which I love. I love foliage. My OCD is making me want to stick these all right over where they should be. That's how bad it is. But you can see here, like this is the, like you get a shadow effect. So you could stamp this first in a different colour, and then those white bits would show through. So that's a really great gift. We've also got the beautiful butterflies, which is in our current mini catalogue. Let's see if I can find where it is. It's this one. Let's try every page until we get there. I can't believe they, you know, this is a free Sale-a-Bration offering. It is stunning. It is kind of on my wish list. Whether I will get to purchase it and create with it before the end of this catalogue, we shall see. But there is also, if you wanted to, if you earned this as a free gift, you could then purchase the hybrid embossing folder bundle, which comes with the dies. And you can just see, I mean, you can see the detail of the dies. But we've got a two-page spread on this one. But it's gorgeous. And you've got this die in there that creates a fold. So you could create little cards with it. But isn't it lovely? And then, of course, the hybrid part, the dies do work with the embossing folder, the one die by the looks of it. But how gorgeous is that? So that is a freebie. We've also got the Alphabet a la Mode. I've got that set, although I haven't got all the dies out on my sheet. I haven't got the number dies out. This was £40, okay? And you can earn it free when you spend £55. So if you're like me and you're into scrapbooking, this is a definite purchase. So obviously you've got the little numbers in here as well, but mine are still in their packet because they wouldn't all fit on my die sheet. What else have I got? I've got this kit. I do have the butterflies as well. Oh, reaching over. I haven't used it yet. This is the Hooray for Honeycomb kit, and it's got these really bright, maybe that's why I haven't used it. And they're lovely. Look at the quality of them. Some really sweet envelopes. We've got greetings that are stamped on balloons, lovely cards, really bright and funky. More sentiments, and then we've got some die cut elements as well, and we've got some dimensionals and some twine, and then we've also got these, which are the honeycomb element, where they open out like this. How sweet is that? So this is another free gift with purchase. So lots and lots happening today. That's the first thing that's happening. We also have, oh, let's see if I can load it on my MacBook, on my iPad. What's going on? So we have a new selection of last chance products. Now these are those new papers that we've had released, but in different colours. This is the one I've been using, the Serene Love. Absolutely love it, but these have been reduced. Not everything is reduced that's gone on to this last chance list, as you can see, but we've had some really great things go on. Again, if you're into scrapbooking, we've got some lovely wordy sets. We've got two-tone cardstock reduced. My favourite set, the Autumn to Remember. So the papers are down to £7.5. I was showing some of you these last week at a class, just how gorgeous this actual sheet of paper is here. But the stamps are also reduced. So you've got to think these two-tone cardstocks are for use with anything, not just for that kit. But this lovely stamp set that I've done so much with is reduced as well. So, and I'm just seeing that the Autumn to Remember kit is down to £24. That's this one. Oh gosh, guys, you have to get this. If you are a scrapbooker, you have to get this, because I've got this kit. In fact, I might have two, because I bought one in case anybody wanted one, because we're allowed to cash and carry these. But it's got like these gorgeous little sort of lightweight wooden elements, and obviously it's got the papers, and it's got a couple of, well, the sticker sheets, and I think a couple of die cut sheets as well. So do not miss that. Let's just quickly see what follows that. And then we run on to what was already on there, the list as well. So don't forget to have a look at that. So we've got the Sale-a-Bration extra. We've got 2 new kits. So let's go back to, kits. This one is adorable. It might not show very well on screen, but it's called So Much to Celebrate, but it looks really sweet. I haven't studied what's in here. It looks like we've got die cut pieces, some embellishments, we've got our greetings, some pop out greetings as well, cards and envelopes, £14. So there's no stamp set included in that one. It makes 9 cards, 3 each of 3 designs. So the other one, I was going to pull it away then, let's just show you the other one. I haven't studied it. This one obviously has a stamp set. Look at this. Wow, beautiful. I love our kits. I think they are brilliant. So we've got a little stamp set in here. The next picture will show us. That is really lovely. £22, the Heirloom Arrangements kit. Adorable. Right, let's move all of that out of the way. I'm just going to end up on the floor. It's sitting in an open drawer next to my desk. And let's get back to the task in hand. So, if you are in my... Oh, I just found an embellishment then. It must have been stuck to something I was doing. I think might have just come off this project that I'm going to be showing you. So I'm just going to stick it back on. I haven't got my take your pick tool handy, and it's not wanting to go back on with ease. But if you are in my community group, I shared recently a card where I've used the memorable blooms. So I'm going to do a different version of that, and then I'm going to recreate something from last time that I did. Morning, evening, Shaz, how are you doing, lovely? You've been on your travels again, haven't you? You're back. Are you back, or were you staying away for a little bit longer? I know you were going for an appointment, weren't you? So I thought I would kind of recreate something I did last week just to show you another idea of how to use it. Right, who is on here? Jacqueline, you love the honeycomb balloons. Yes, isn't it gorgeous? It's such a bright, let's just grab the leaflet. A bright, funky kit. Great gift because you've got everything in there that you need. A good one for children to do as well, maybe, because it's just kind of like pushing things out and sticking them down. So, yeah, really fun one. So, we have got Pretty in Pink. And I've been really drawn to this, and the reason being is this pack of papers, which I've shared with you a lot. It's the Toadstool Garden. And there is Pretty in Pink in here. What are the actual colours? Well, it's not Pretty in Pink. It's saying Melon Mambo. But to me, this pink running through here is pretty much Pretty in Pink. So I have pulled out, I'm not a fan of Melon Mambo, although I am using this piece, which has got a lot of Melon Mambo in it. But I've pulled out sheets from this that I adore, and I'm using them, although I've not yet created anything with this. So we're going to have to watch that space because I love that too. So this is another free Sale-a-Bration product, and some of my recent projects have been designed around the colours in that paper. So Shaz, you're back home. You're home for 6 weeks, at least until on stage. Oh, I know. That's exciting thought, isn't it? On stage. It'll be here before we know it. I'm meeting up with the girls that I'm travelling with. I do meet up with them regularly, but we're having like a proper on-stage meetup to discuss all our travel arrangements and everything, which is super exciting. And for those of you that are wondering what is on stage, it's an event we get to go to as demonstrators. We get to kind of like mix and mingle and we get to see new products. And in March it's in Strasbourg, so we have a little bit of a jolly, a bit of an adventure. And it's always fun. We come away feeling like boosted and refreshed, and usually with new products in hand, so it's a super exciting time. So I'm folding my base layer in half, and then I have a layer of crumb cake which measures 3 3/4 by 5 3/8, and then I've got a matting layer which will measure 3 5/8 by 5 1/4. And then what I'm going to do with this one is pull in my timber embossing folder, and I'm going to partially run it through. So I'm not going to put the bottom of it in. I'm going to get it as straight as I can, and straight as the eye can see. And then I'm just going to quickly run that through my machine. Put my plates back on. I'm super warm today. I mean, we're going to be experiencing a little cold spell. I think from tonight we're going down to the minuses at night, or maybe from tomorrow. And then it's going to be sort of -1, -2, -3 for a couple of weeks overnight. So today I thought I'll put my cashmere cardigan on. I've got a couple of cashmeres which I'm absolutely adoring. As a cold-bodied person, it really does help. And I'm absolutely boiling over here in the studio. I didn't check what the temperature was. Let's have a little look. It's only 20.5 degrees, so it's not what I would call warm in here. So I think it is just the cashmere doing the job. I don't think it's hormonal, because that doesn't affect me in the slightest. Right, so I have embossed, and I've left the bottom part free. What I'm going to do with that is pull in, throwing it all about. The little scory tool went for a trip. And what I'm going to do is turn it over onto the reverse, and then where the end of that embossed part is, I'm just going to run a line to like finalize and show the difference between the embossed part and the non-embossed part. So it just like creates a segment at the bottom. And then I've cut myself a strip of that DSP, and it measures the same width, 3 5, as my white layer. But I've taken off, so it's, where's my ruler? It's 1.5 inches. And then what I've done is taken off 1/2 inch. I've made a marker at this end. So basically, if this was my piece, imagine this was my piece, I've made a mark with my pencil 1/2 inch in, and then I've cut it at an angle like that. Does that make sense? So this side is 1/2 inch shorter, which would make it 1 inch. And God, I might make a meal out of things, don't I, when I'm trying to explain things. I am not good at explaining things. Not good at all. But you get the gist. And if you were super good with colours, you might want to use this lovely bright side. But I much prefer, even though there's lots of Melamambo on there, I much prefer that side. So we're going to set that to the side for a minute, because I want to just do a little bit of stamping. So I'm using the Hugs for Love and the Memorable Blooms. Now we've got a cling set and a photopolymer set. And I'm using Memento. I've got little things popping up on my screen. And I've mounted up this single, well, it's not single, it's a duo, the little flower in there. And because it's cling, because we've got that bit of red rubber here, we don't need a mat underneath here. So I want to stamp, I'm going to stamp 2 of these because I need one for my next project. 2 hands, Kerry. 2 hands when we're stamping. And I find when you're stamping down, if you hold it for like 2 or 3 seconds, then you will get a better image. Can you see it? Not quite as dark in the middle there as it is for that one. It just allows that ink enough time to absorb into your paper. So we're going to set those to one side, and then we'll cut them out in a minute because we're going to use our Stampin' blends. I've pulled out Pretty in Pink, and then I've got Soft Seafoam Light, but one of these is almost gone. So I might have to use both, and just, if one runs out, we'll have to go with the other. So those are the 2 colours I'm colouring in with. And then we need to pull in our crumb cake ink. And from the Hugs for Love, where is that in my book? I showed you this last time, I think. I think this is so sweet. And I have got a blog post coming up later about this product and a card that's very similar to this. And I think sometimes we look at something and go, that's for Valentine's. That's not for me. I don't do Valentine's. And yes, it has got a Valentine's greeting, but it's also got some really other good elements in the stamp. And what I was talking about in my blog post is that quite often I will just bypass something in a stamp set because I know I'm not going to use it, but I more love everything else that's in the stamp set. I don't have to look at a stamp set and think, right, I'm not going to buy you because I'm not going to use that greeting. I just will bypass it and then make the most of everything else. But look at the lovely hearts in here. It's got the gorgeous punch as well, which is right here. What I wanted to show you was that we also have another stamp set that coordinates with this punch. And I love that Stampin' Up have done that. Absolutely love it. So this is the To The Point. It's quite large. And then, of course, we've got these gorgeous elements here. So I'm going to use a couple of those. So let us start off. I'm going to have this one with the hearts on. Now, we will need a mat for this. And a decent sized strip of paper. So I'm just going to ink that up. Now, because we're using a punch, we're going to want to put our punch in this way. We could put it in that way, or we could put it in that way. But I tend to use my punches this way up. So I like to stamp the same way that it's going to punch out. So we'll do one of those. Move that out of the way. How pretty is that? And then we're literally going to punch it out. Let's move that because it will probably land in that if it flies on its way out. Taking a moment there to concentrate and line up. How sweet is that? I love it. Love it. Okay, next, we want some dies. So the Memorable Blooms has a gorgeous die set that goes with it. Initially, I think I told you this was on the online exclusives, but it's definitely in the Mini Catalogue. And I'm just looking for, excuse me, blowing my nose at the same time. I haven't put in any cardstock to cut some foliage. I've got myself a piece of white and I'm going to create this one here, but look at this intricate one. I've got something to show you after because I'm focusing on this set for my classes this month. I was going to say next month, but we're February already, aren't we? You know what's going to happen? This year is going to fly. Right, I'm just looking for some cardstock. Oh, that piece might just do nicely in my scraps. Wow. That couldn't have been a better fit. I literally just pulled that from my scraps envelope. Let's bring in my grubby plates. Why am I not giving myself a brand new bottom plate? What is wrong with me? Shall we have one? Shall we christen one today? Let's get one out. This is how they come. So you get a pack of 2. That's the code there. It's so much nicer when you've got a new plate. I will label this one up when I've finished and just pop bottom plate on there. And this is where people have cut into it and then adhesive and washi tape has got stuck to it. It doesn't look very pretty, does it? But when people come to a class, they forget how to use my machine. Maybe their machine has different layers and it kind of just happens. It's okay. It's a tool. It's there for using. There's a cute little heart on there though. That's what it's for. It still works. It's not a problem. So we are going to pop that one in here and that one in here. And if we were super savvy, we're still using our Christmas washi tape. I think we'll be using it until the summer. Let's try and put this in as centrally as we can because there's something kind of magic about this die and you'll see. So top plate goes on. So when you've got brand new plates, they're all nice and flat. Does anybody like that? That moment of flat plates. Because in time, when we use them, they do kind of bend and bow a little. Right, let's just close up that crumb cake. So what have we all been up to? What have you been doing? Can you see how it's etched into there? That is perfectly normal. So if you've got a new plate and that happens, it's totally fine. Now I know the creatives in you will do something with that. You could spritz over that. You could use a blending brush with that. But we are just going to push out. Oh, my tummy gurgled then. I hope you didn't hear that. I've just had my breakfast about 9:15, which is kind of the normal time for me, thereabouts. And I had sourdough toast with nut butter, had almond nut butter. I'm slightly addicted to it at the minute. I like peanut butter, but it kind of just lies heavy on me for some reason. And almond butter doesn't do that. So what happens with this beautiful die? So you can see you've got an outer part, the inner part that cuts, and then an inner part, or the middle part that cuts rather, and then an inner. So this then becomes your outer piece. So you're left with this gorgeous dotty print around the outside. And then we have this piece on the inside. So it's beautiful, absolutely love it. Jacqueline, you've been catching up with your granddaughter, Penny. Oh, how old is she, my lovely? It's just precious, isn't it? I had the whole day with Luca yesterday, which I normally do on a Monday. And he was 2 in September. So he's 2 years, 4 months, September, October, November, December, January, February, 5 months. And he is talking away. He understands everything we say. He is just growing up so fast. He's so clever and he loves to do a puzzle. So, and he's great at doing puzzles as well. He quite amazes me what he does. Oh, about similar age then. I just think it's such a lovely age, isn't it? Because their brains are just taking everything in. And he's sitting doing this puzzle and you can see him really like his brain is churning over, thinking and turning the puzzle piece around to see where it fits. So, yeah, it is just, right, we need to cut those. It's just lovely. Well, I'm very thankful that I have 4 beautiful grandchildren. So, right, let's tape this down. I'm going to cut this one first and then colour it. Line it in as best we can. And then we'll have to do the other one after. run that through. So I worked on Saturday morning, and then Jason worked as well. What did I do then? Oh, I did loads of housework. I felt like we got up really early, and I felt like I really achieved a lot. I hoovered upstairs and downstairs, which is quite a task in my house. Got a lot of wooden floors everywhere, and we get a lot of tumbleweed, for want of a better word. And with the fire being lit, the log burner, it creates so much dust. It drives me insane. But, you know, I'm a coldie, so we've got to stay warm, and the fire has to be lit in the evenings just to take the edge off. Because we've got a lot of open space to heat up. Because we're open plan, we can't just like cozy down in a room. So yeah, so I did lots of cleaning. I even cleaned windows. I'm not a huge fan of cleaning windows because it makes your arms ache, doesn't it? But I even did some window cleaning and a bit of sorting. Let's do some colouring. So I really felt like I achieved a lot. And then what did I do? Jason came home from work. Oh, and then he went out in the garden to start, because we were having some trees pollarded on Sunday morning. So he went out to make a start with the chainsaw of just getting some lower branches down, because we had a big tree that was overhanging out onto the roadside, and it was just, it needed doing. It hasn't been done for quite a few years. So yeah, it was a big task. But so he brought a cherry picker home and drove it across my lawn. Bless him, he was very strategic about it. He laid down massive boards and moved them each time he drove the truck across the garden. But let's just say there are a few big dents in the garden now because we've had so much rain of late. He did do really well at trying, but yeah, it is what it is. The garden looks like a bomb has exploded, because there are just branches down everywhere. There are tree trunks and tree stumps, and yeah, it's not pretty. But so we're going to have to work on getting that tidied up over the next couple of weeks. But you know, it's a good job done, a really good job done. So while he was preparing, so I'm just taking my light pretty in pink, I'm just going to add some colour. While he was preparing the garden on Saturday afternoon, I felt like I needed to get myself out and for a little bit of window shopping, maybe purchasing something. And I needed a gift for a friend's birthday. So I headed over to Sale-a-Bration, which is like our local market town. And I've got, I don't know if you know, because I talk about them all the time. There is this boutique over there called Tusk. And you can shop online with them. You need to look it up, Tusk Collection in Sale-a-Bration. Oh, I just adore that shop, and I adore the owners. They are mother and daughter, and they are just the most beautiful people. And you really feel like you want to support them because what they offer is beautiful. Their products are kind of like European, like Scandi, Danish. You walk into the shop and you just feel a sense of calm. They have these lovely fragrances going on, and they're just so friendly and so lovely that you don't get that with larger businesses. And they take so much pride in what they do. They are just beautiful people, and that reflects in their whole boutique. So yeah, so I did try on something, but I tried on some trousers, but they were too big. I did buy a couple of bits. I bought a present for my friend because there's some really nice gifty things. And I bought myself another, this sounds sad, but it brings me so much joy, a new dishcloth. Yes, I know, I'm sad. A new dishcloth and a new hand towel for the kitchen because they're just lovely. They are so lovely. So I do go in there regularly, have become quite a regular, which is why I know the people who own it, and I'm always sharing their stuff on Instagram because it's just nice to support small. And when people, beautiful people like that, are making such an effort to make their business work for them, they deserve all the love that they can get. So I'm always sharing their products online. What else did I do in Ledbury? Not a lot, because I made myself have a time limit. I only let myself have an hour on the car park. So I dropped a couple of bags of things at the charity shop. There's a few charity shops over there. But it's just easy because it's not a massive town. You can sort of park and manage with a couple of bags to drop things off. So it works quite well. I don't think I bought anything else. I think I only went into Tusk. So, and then I was back home just before dark, and Jason and I had to take Milo, my son's puppy. Jack was back from his skiing trip Saturday evening, so we took Milo back home. He's been pretty good, bless him. He's only like 9 months old. He's a Cocker Spaniel, so he's quite lively, let's say. But towards the end of the week, Alfie was kind of like zoning into him and finding like he had a bit of youth left in him, playing out in the garden. So Jacqueline, your son lives in Ledbury. I think we might have talked about this before. I absolutely love Ledbury. It's like a 10-12 minute drive from here, and it's like my favourite place of choice to shop is Cheltenham. Gloucester's not even worth thinking about, but Cheltenham is my place to shop. But with Ledbury being so close, I just love it. There are like all these little hidden gems of boutiques and shops and organic fruit and veg. There are bakers, you've got a Boots over there, you've got a Clark's shoe shop. It's amazing what is packed in. So, and there's some fab restaurants, really fab restaurants. So yeah, I absolutely love it. If you're coming over one weekend to visit them, I'll have to come over and meet you for a coffee. That would be lovely, because I haven't seen you for such a long time. So I'm literally just colouring in the leaves. I think this soft sea foam has given up hope, but it's enough. We just want some subtle colour on here. Isn't this flower stunning? I can see this kind of layered and decoupaged as well, like cutting up some of the petals and kind of turning them up so it's full of life. Right, we're going to save one of those for later. And we're going to start putting this card together. Before we do, let's do one more bit of stamping. I've got this one here. I appreciate your thoughtfulness. So let's find a little scrap. And I'm going to stamp this one in crumb cake. I quite often stamp in my Memento black if I've got black lined images that I've coloured in. But I just felt there's a little mark on there. This just didn't look as harsh. That will be fine. And we'll just do a little cutting of this one. Remember, you don't have to fussy cut things out like this. You could stamp it onto a bigger piece and punch it out with something if you've got a punch that works with it. You might have a die that works with it, or literally just stamp it onto a strip. But you know me, I love to fussy cut. So that was my choice for this design. So we're just turning and twisting. I've still got that blood blister. And I didn't pinch it, I kind of just knocked it when I was turning the handle on my die cutting machine. And it just caused a bruise. That was a bit rough at the end then. Let's just trim that a bit neater. It's quite windy out there, I can hear it today. Oh, and as I've said that, the door has swung open downstairs. Right, for this bit, I appreciate your... I'm literally just gonna trim around it. like that. So I've just chopped around those two. And that was Saturday. I did a lot. I felt like I really did a lot in Saturday. So we dropped Milo back home to my sons. I'm going to start by layering these pieces up before they go onto this layer, just in case I stick it crooked and I need to cut some off. Yeah, and then we stopped back off at the docks at Gloucester and went into like a independent restaurant called Spargo. I think there are a couple. There might be one in Hereford, but they do tapas. So we shared some tapas. Had a lovely glass of wine. Just put that bit of glue on there. And then we came home and lit the fire and just chilled for a bit. So that was Saturday done. And then Sunday, the work started in the garden, just checking there are no overhanging bits so that when we pop it on here, we don't want to see any white bits that might be escaping around here. So we can put that down now. Can you see how I work at an angle? And I'm not sitting, so it must just be how my brain works. Sunday, we had an early start because they came before 8 to start working on the trees. And what did I do while they were doing that? I think maybe it was Sunday morning I was cleaning. Yeah, it was. Sunday morning I was cleaning. So Saturday morning I worked. So yeah, I cleaned and cleaned and cleaned windows because the sun was out and it was coming in and making the windows look awful. So I did loads of cleaning, which made me feel really good. And it was good exercise as well. And then I went off to Sainsbury's, did the food shop, a little browse in HomeSense. Has anybody got a HomeSense near them? Who loves a little browsey in HomeSense? Because I certainly do, but it's definitely an excuse to buy things that you don't need. But I did have a mission. I needed a planter for inside the house to put a big plant in. I think it's called a Fiscus plant, but it's getting bigger and bigger. I need to repot it really. So I did buy a nice planter in there, and then I restrained from the stationery aisle because they have an awesome stationery aisle in HomeSense. If you're like me and you love your pens and your notebooks, it's something that you need to be strict about. So next on is going the hexagon. And then I came back from shopping. Jason was just finishing up in the garden. He worked so hard out there with them. The men worked so hard with the trees. And he was aching. But we got invited out. Sophie, my daughter, invited us over for dinner. So she cooked us a fakeaway, which was absolutely yummy. Like a chicken and pepper dish. It was absolutely yummy. Right, this was the little punched layer. I'm going to pop some dimensionals behind here. And we were home by about 8. So we lit the fire again down in the snug and just had a little bit of a chill. Because that's what life's about, isn't it? Work hard and rest hard. And that was the weekend gone. They kind of come and go. Right, it won't really matter which way round we put this, but I'm going to stick with it this way. I'm going to pop it down in the centre. I'm going to give our flower a bit of life. Yeah, and that was the weekend done. And then I had a lovely day with Luca yesterday. So we are going 2 layers on this. So if you're recreating at home, think about your postage, because we're 2 layers of dimensional high, which is going to push it over the standard delivery. Right, what I'm going to do with this is chop it. We could put it all down, but I just felt it was too long. So I'm going to chop off sections of it and kind of just feed them in Maybe take that one out. Okay, so I've just chopped it into 3 sections. That could be used for something else. Oh, I'm just looking now. I've got another piece of that. That must have been hidden under something. Duh. Right, so you know me, flower goes down first. So I'm going to pop my flower on, just on the edge. Like this, and then we're going to wedge in, gently pull on these to curl them, otherwise they'll tear. And this one is probably going to be too long, so let's chop it again. And a bit of Tombow behind the bottom, and we'll just wedge it in. Not going where I want to, there must be a dimensional in the way. I might add another bit. Right, the glue is behind there. I might add another bit up through there. One coming down here. And then the other one the other side. Gosh, I am warm. I might have to get out of my cashmere in a bit. When I'm finished, of course. Let's chop off that bit. Just put a bit of Tombow there. And add that one in there, that's better. Get a little gap. So we just layered those in. And then we're going to add on our sentiment. I'm going to put dimensionals behind these just to make them pop. That one there I'm going to need a skinnier bit, so I've got some edge bits here. So we'll just snip those off. Like that. Very unlike me to feel warm when it's not really that warm. And we'll just pop the thoughtfulness down here. And I think I'm kind of glad that I'm never too hot, because at least I can layer up and get warm. You know, if you're warm all the time, it's difficult to get cold, isn't it? Or to cool down. So we just pop that one on there. Looks a bit crooked from where I'm looking from. And then to finish, I felt it needed something else. We're just going to add a bow with the linen thread. Just tie one. Right, I'm pinching in the middle and just pulling the opposite tails. Make them a little bit smaller. And I like to use a glue dot just to hold that down because it's much quicker than Tombow drying. So I'm just going to roll one onto the end of my scissors. Pop it down. And just add in a little bow. And there we go. So this is a sketch that I have used on a couple of recent projects. And it's good to recycle your ideas, you know, save yourself time. Don't keep, like, you know, the saying, inventing the box. Don't keep trying to reinvent the box. Do something from what you've already got. And I'm quite good at doing that. Working smarter, not harder. Okay, next project. So last week, where's it gone? I created this. not last week, at the last live, which was 2 weeks. And it was just a little Z fold card, and it used the birthday celebration bundle and the Sale-a-Bration, oh, what's it called? Heart-shaped dies, which are adorable. Again, I'm using the same papers, and I designed it to go in this box here, which is part of a class that is available this month, and it works inside here. But I thought, what else could we do with this? I suggested to you, like, maybe adding photographs in here or whatever. So I've just come up with another design with exactly the same measurements, where you could do something else that would fit inside that box. So thanks for the love, guys. Thank you. So yeah, so I thought it'd be a good idea, if anyone is purchasing this class, then you've got some extra ideas of this class here, of what else you could put inside this box. So we have got a panel. I've got to remember what I've done now, because I've created this, that measures, oh, I'm on centimetres. My grid paper's the long way over. I work on inches, in case you haven't noticed. Right, I know it's 3 3/4, because I can remember that. It's 3 3/4 by 11 1/4. And basically we're going to turn it into 3 sections, which would be 3 3/4, oops, so 3 squares, and 7 1/2. So we've got then 3 equal panels. And let's find my original so I know what I'm doing. We can then fold these. We might have to do a little bit of trimming with this, but that point will come. I'm just going to fold them both in for now. And when you're folding on a scored line, don't just take the line for granted that you've scored. Actually line up these edges here and hold them, because otherwise your score, that score line that you're made, if it's not quite straight, then your fold will just be not straight. So actually kind of like pull it over and hold it tight and make sure that it's doing and going where it should. So we end up with something looking like this. We've got our 3 equal panels. And to start with, I think these are the same measurements as last time, but with different colours. So we've got 3 crumb cake layers measuring 3 1/2 inches square. And then we've got 3 basic white layers, one of which I've pre-embossed, 2 of which I have pre-embossed, which measures 3 3/8. So they're an 1/8 of an inch less, so that they sit and layer like this on top of each other. So the front of our card, we are going to add one of our embossed layers to the crumb cake. So remember, we've got 3 of each. That is for die cutting. But I'm also taking a strip of that same pattern paper, and this looks like it's 3/4 of an inch, yeah, by the 3 3/8, and we're just going to stick it straight at the bottom. Couldn't find my Tombow for looking then. And hold this down well, because we're sticking it onto an embossed layer. So with all those raised pieces of card from embossing, just need to make sure that it's stuck. So like that. We haven't got any overhang, so that should now be able to go straight down onto the crumb cake layer. Like that. Just move it over that way a little bit. The great thing about Tombow, if you use it, as you know, you get that bit of wiggle room. And then what we're going to do, we have got, bits and pieces have I got? So that one goes with that one. That one goes with that one. got a strip here which I think I'm stamping on, and then I've also got a piece with some die cutting. So for this one, I pulled out the other lovely frame from this set, and again I'm going to ink it in crumb cake, and we'll need our mat because it's photopolymer, and I'm going to do it twice. So I really like this one. I like the double edge that we've got. That was a little bit heavy down there. Can you see it looks a little bit smooshed, a bit squished? Smooshed, squished. And then we'll punch those out. I've also realised I missed a step in my last, I'm gonna get that out to remind me. I missed a step on my last project, but that's totally fine. So we're gonna punch one out, and the second one. And then on this one here, I'm going to pull back in my crumb cake. I've mounted up the thanks so much, and this one is from the Memorable Blooms. Again in crumb cake. Now I need to test that this is straight. Let's get a scrap. Because it's not photopolymer, we can't see where we're going. So what I like to do, and it's not always easy to put your stickers on completely straight. So I tend to stamp and I follow a line on my grid paper, and I'm lining up the bottom of the so much with a line. And that tells me that it's pretty straight. So when I'm looking at this, I know that it's going to stamp pretty much what I can see as being straight. It doesn't always work, but we'll start off with our piece straight. Let's have it down a bit so I've got more of a chance of seeing it without the camera being in the way. And then we're going to stamp it. And because I know that if I'm looking at the bottom of that words, that it's going to be pretty straight, hopefully. So we're just going to stamp that down. That looks okay to me. So we've got thanks so much. That one is done for now. And what I want to do is chop this off, okay? I'm going to just put it in my trimmer and take the top part off. This is where I think this set here, this the Hugs for Love, will be great for scrapbooking, because this is what we've got left with. And this is really good for like popping under photographs or putting a date on and things like that. I just love elements like this to stamps. So we've just trimmed off. So we've got this. We're going to put that to one side, and we're going to build up this layer here, which is going to be the front of our card. So what I need to do now, I need one of those hexagon shapes. And I don't need the whole thing. So this scrap works perfectly. So I'm just going to run that through. My plates are so clean, I've got a job to find them. Which isn't a bad thing. Oh, I got the whole thing out of that. That was deceiving, wasn't it? Because it cuts right on the inside. And again, I'm going to trim off some of this edge as well. I'm going to slice off a little bit. I'm not sure exactly how much. Just a little bit. I'll cut a bit, and then if it's not right, I'll cut a bit more. Let's hope I haven't done too much. I think that'll be okay. So we're going to pop, can you see I've just trimmed off the end. This is a step I should have done. Just want to add a little bit of splat. So this is dark grey granite. I should have done this on my original card. Just a bit of background splattage, which always goes a long way in my estimation. It just takes away that plainness. I'm going to pop this straight down onto our card, because this as a whole was just too big for my liking on this size panel. So I thought, let's just use some of it, just lining up that edge. Then we're going to add in this one with dimensionals, of course. We'll put one in the middle because we don't want it sinking, do we? And we'll put that one sort of, not right in the middle, but more over to the left, I think. Like that. So we're just layering it up. Need to cut myself another one of these. So has anybody got the memorable blooms? I know we've got some demonstrators on here. So run that through. I think it's adorable. Right, a way to get your dies out is to give it a tap and then it just lifts it, but sometimes not enough. Not got a take your pick tool to hand. But of course, remember we always have the little dots that you push through. That one back where it lives. And then again, we will have, let's do a little bit of snipping, and I'm just going to do 2 on this one. So I've just trimmed off 2 little pieces. Like that. We've got our flower that we did earlier. Give it a curl. Pop some dimensions behind that. Dimensionals, rather. And then we'll lay that one roughly down, kind of to the leftish kind of side of that frame. And then we'll just add in our foliage. Might have to snip a little bit of that stem. Oh no, it will go in. And then we'll do the other one in the opposite corner. So teeny bit of Tombow. Just wedge it in and hold it down for a minute. Push you in a little bit more. If you'll go. Nope. And then we're going to add more dimensionals to the back of this layer. This is going to go on the front of our card. Because it's quite 3D anyway, it's going to have to go in some kind of larger packaging if you're posting it. Take all those backs off. Talking of backs, mine is aching. It's my left lower side that's been giving me a bit of grief lately. I'm hoping it's not going to come and bite me on the bum and give me problems. So we're going to lay that one on. Down on the front. So you're using this one for your upcoming stamp camp. You love it. Yeah, it's gorgeous, isn't it? It's so pretty, Shaz. It's so pretty. Right, can you see where we're going on this one? Next, we're literally going to stick these 2 together. I've pre-embossed this one And there are options you could do with this layer, but for today it's just going to be a layer as it is. And then on the third double panel, I'm going to stick these two together. So this is just the plain white one. You could, of course, use pattern paper on these layers. I'm trying to conserve my pack, of course, aren't we always? Because I've got other things I want to do with it, and I know I'm going to run out of certain sheets. And we're going to stick, so we've got this panel here. I'm going to stick this one in the middle. Oops, a bit more down there. Centrally as we can. And then what we need to do is, because this is closing down in, is just take a tiny slither off of this bottom panel edge. Just a teeny weeny slither. And we're going to lay this one down. Oops, went off the edge then. So that slither doesn't really make a difference to how this panel sits. Oh, it's crooked. And then this one that we chopped off, I'm tempted just to take another smidge off of there. Teeny weeny bit. Going to pop some dimensionals on the back. Always use plenty of dimensionals, me. I do get through them. I do like them though, they're just a really nice depth. And then we're just going to find the middle of this point. So two would be roughly the middle, which would be 1 7/8. And I'm going to put that point and just bring it down. So I know that is the center point. And have it like that. Give that top panel a good crease. And then that one as well. And then we've got ourselves a little easel card. You can't see it very well from the top view, but, and again, that just folds in like that. By taking off that slither, it just allows us to close that over a bit better without having a double score line there, which we could have created by making it slightly longer, but it does work. And then it just sits like this. So, and it fits inside my box. Like so. Would it fit in my envelope? We don't need an envelope really, but it would be very tight because of the depth. But it fits inside my box. Lovely. So that was my thinking, was that let's recycle this idea, use the same measurements and create something else that works. So I feel like mission accomplished on that one. I think I managed to do that. So I seem to have a lot of mess today, Kerry. A lot of mess. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Thank you, Shaz. These colours are just lovely, aren't they? I am just so enthused by this set of papers. Just the colours in it are great. And as I said, the bright greens and like the granny apple greens that are too bright for me do work with like Old Olive. And as you can see, I've teamed with soft seafoam, the colours will blend. Don't think that if something is one colour, you cannot use another colour, because you so can. You just have to think about it and find like a close match that complements it. So, there we go. I should have done some splattage on this circle really, but I don't think, oh, there was something else I was going to show you. There was, and I'll go and grab it. But I've talked to you about the Last Chance products. I've talked to you about the Sale-a-Bration extra products. You would have seen that at the beginning if you're on the replay. Hi Jill, how are you doing? Oh, thanks everybody. You're liking them. They are just pretty colours, aren't they? They're fun and bright. And of course, as demonstrators, we have got pre-order of the new online exclusives. And if you join Stampin' Up today, you too can pre-order those exclusive items in your starter kit. So got some great starter kit offers at present. Where is my Sale-a-Bration book? For £99, you can choose a starter kit of products of your choice and receive this gorgeous stamp set that I have and I've shared with you, and 2 packs of our marker pens. Or you can add in, without those 3 free gifts, you could add in £30 a product of your choice. Or for £90. It is absolutely an amazing deal. I don't know why, I said this the other day, I don't know why all of my customers aren't in my team, because it's just the best thing. Hi Wendy, how are you doing? Thanks for stopping by. I thought, just because I've been using this set, I would share with you a class that is coming this month. It's going to be an online class as well as an in-person. I've loved putting this together. So these cards, I think in March, will be part of a 6-card class. This is that die. Let me grab it. It's this die here. Okay, stunning. Absolutely stunning. So this is part of a class. The 3 cards will be available as a PDF, and then we've got the 2 3D projects. So we've got a huge box that I've put together, and when I do the class I'll show you where my inspiration came on this. And we've also got this, and I was inspired by Julie D'Amatteo. I hope I'm saying that right. She's another demonstrator, and I want to say in Canada. Is she in the States? Brain's gone blank. But she created something not the same as this. I spent like a lot of time creating this, because I had to put all my sizings together, but I kind of cased her idea of having a pouch and then a gift card holder. But we've got some of the gorgeous Ella dipped almonds, and that just goes inside the box. It folds under, and then in this side we've got, it's a bit close isn't it, sorry, a little room for a gift card. Just put that in there like that. So yeah, it took me a lot of fathoming to create how to create this and design it, but I got there in the end. And when you purchase a PDF, that is what you're paying towards my time and my efforts in creating and designing these lovely things for you. So that is going to be an online class. It will be the same as I've been doing, so you can choose to do just the 3D items or the cards, or you can buy both PDFs at a reduced price. So, and of course you can come to the studio if you're local and do that class here as well. You can either do 1 3D or 2 3D if you're coming midweek. If it's a weekend class, then it will be the 2 3D. So here we go. Here are today's projects. Thank you so much for joining me. I have got a huge day of filming. I need to film this class as well. So busy old day. And what time are we? 11:15. So it's time for 11s. There's a little Powerball and small cup of coffee to keep me going, and then I'm going to be back to it. So please take care and stay safe wherever you are in the world. I love having you here. It means so much to me when people stop by and chat. If you're not in my community stamping group, please do join. We need more people in there. We need more people to chat. But we do, you know, we've just finished our January challenge actually, and I've announced the winner. So you will find links to that in my Facebook. There's always links to the group in there, and I think there is a link on the end of every YouTube in the more section as well. So anyway, waffle, I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you again for being with me. Thank you, Kerry. Nice to see you and speak to you. Can't see you, but I can speak to you. And thanks for being here, everybody. And I'll be back with you all very, very soon. So take care and bye-bye.